We all do work we're not exactly proud of every now and again, and actors are no different. In fact, most actors from seasoned A-listers to up-and-coming stars have made a film or two they aren't exactly thrilled about. So today we're breaking down 12 actors who confess to hating their own movies right here on Listed. Actors know that one huge flop can do years of damage, so it's no wonder they sometimes regret the films that didn't turn out to be so hot. Luckily, the actors on this list are doing just fine despite a regretful role or two. So let's look back and cringe alongside them at the roles they hated the most, starting with Channing Tatum.
G.I. Joes are no more.
What if the president isn't the president?
You're insane.
While talking to Howard Stern about his 2009 film G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, Channing said, quote, "Look, I'll be honest, I hate that movie. I hate that movie." Channing went on to explain that he was forced to play the role due to a 3-picture deal he had with the studio. So despite the fact that the script wasn't very good and he didn't really want the role to begin with, he had no choice but to do the movie. Well, at least we can all be grateful that Channing and his abs were more than happy to take on Magic Mike a few years later. Next up, Shia LaBeouf has one of the most eclectic careers of any actor we know, but that doesn't mean that every creative choice paid off. One such role came courtesy of his Transformers sequel, Revenge of the Fallen.
B, I want to talk to you about the college thing, okay? I'm so excited. Hey, I'm not taking you with me.
Shia admitted that he was disappointed with how the sequel turned out, saying, quote, "I wasn't impressed with what we did. There were some really wild stunts in it, but the heart was gone." I mean, in all fairness, a movie about robots seeking vengeance on mankind doesn't exactly scream tearjerker in the first place, but we feel you, Shia. Next on our list, Daniel Radcliffe got his claim to fame by playing one of the most iconic book characters of all time, but even he admitted that one Harry Potter film in particular was not his best work.
Your word, Harry.
I would.
He explained to the Daily Mail, quote, "It's hard to watch a film like Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince because I'm just not very good in it. I hate it. My acting is very one note, and I can see I got complacent and what I was trying to do just didn't come across." Luckily, Daniel wasn't so hard on himself on all the Harry Potter films, as he admitted he was slightly more pleased with his work in Order of the Phoenix, and frankly, so are we. Next up, while Katherine Heigl was great and knocked up, she wasn't too thrilled with the message the movie sent out.
Do we have sex?
Yes.
Nice.
In an interview with Vanity Fair, Katherine explained, quote, "It was a little sexist. It paints the women as shrews, as humorless and uptight, and it paints the men as lovable, goofy, fun-loving guys. 98% of the time, it was an amazing experience, but it was hard for me to love the movie." Moving along, Robert Pattinson notoriously bashed the Twilight series that put him on the map on more than one occasion.
You were gone.
Yeah. I was out of town for a couple of days. Personal reasons.
In one interview, Robert complained, quote, "When I read it, it seems like a book that wasn't supposed to be published," adding that the story overall, quote, "doesn't make any sense." So it's probably safe to say that Rob is more than happy to be separating himself from Edward Cullen these days. Next on our list is Ben Affleck, an A-list actor and Oscar-winning writer and director. But there's one role that he wishes he could delete from his resume, and no, it's not Geely.
Excuse me. I just wanted to get your name. Does every guy have to go through all this to find out your name?
You should try asking for my number.
When asked about his movie regrets, Ben said, quote, "The only movie I actually regret is Daredevil. It just kills me. I love that story, that character, and the fact that it got f***ed up the way it did stays with me." Next up, thanks to her experience on 2007's Fantastic Four sequel, Jessica Alba decided she was ready to quit acting for good.
What is it?
We were hoping you could tell us.
She explained the experience, quote, "I wanted to stop acting. The director was like, it looks too real. It looks too painful. Can you be prettier when you cry? Cry pretty. Jessica, we can CGI the tears in." And I'm like, but there's no connection to a human being. And then it got me thinking, am I not good enough? Are my instincts and my emotions not good enough? Am I not allowed to be a person in my work? And so I just said, F it, I don't care about this business anymore. After that, Jessica went on to found the billion-dollar Honest Company, so she's probably not regretting her acting career too much these days. Moving down the list, actor Jamie Foxx had some choice words to say about his 2005 action film Stealth.
I bow down before the superiority of the opposite sex, but from time to time, I believe they should bow down before me.
Jamie admitted that he had a hard time promoting the film because he knew it wasn't very good. He said of the experience, quote, "Sometimes you do a movie and you have to go promote it. So on Stealth, I was like, yeah, this is the greatest. And people would see me after seeing the movie and say, I can't believe you lied to me like that." But considering it's part of Jamie's job to promote his movies, we're sure those people forgave him after asking him for their money back, of course. Next up, Mark Wahlberg said what everyone was thinking when it came to discussing his 2008 thriller, The Happening.
Toxin?
Mark got more than blunt when talking about the film, saying, quote, "It is what it is. Trees, man. The plants. It. You can't blame me for not wanting to try to play a science teacher. At least I wasn't playing a cop or a crook." He definitely has a point there. Moving on, Michelle Pfeiffer may be an A-list superstar today, but she got her start in the movie biz with a terrible sequel to the timeless classic Grease. When asked about what she thought of Grease 2, Michelle held nothing back, saying, quote, "I hated that film with a vengeance and could not believe how bad it was." And as for why she agreed to do the film in the first place, she explained, quote, "At the time I was young and didn't know any better. Been there, done that." Next on our list, James Franco is known for taking on all kinds of projects from soaps to indie movies, but his 2011 stoner comedy, Your Highness, is definitely not the project he's most proud of.
What's right for you to spy on a bathing woman for simply keeping an eye on her? Oh God, she's looking at us. Remain perfectly still.
James kept things simple when asked about the flick, saying, quote, "Your Highness, that movie sucks. You can't get around that." Okay, James, but now tell us how you really feel. Next up, and last but not least, Jennifer Lopez may be perfection in our eyes, but her 2003 film Geely was far from perfect, and she'll be the first to admit it.
You know something? You're right. It is sadness. It's sadness, and I'm sad.
When asked about the lowest point in her career, J-Lo admitted, quote, "I think the lowest point was the whole Geely era. It was a very badly reviewed film. I was in a high-profile relationship at the time that fell apart in a really bad way, and so the kind of mix of those two things, the tabloid press had just come into existence at the time, so I was like a poster child for that moment." Lucky for us, Jenny from the Block bounced back and her career is now strong as ever. Okay guys, that rounds out our list of actors who hated their own movies, but I have to know which one surprised you the most, so you know what to do. Sound off in the comment section below, and after that, click right over here to check out actors who've done crazy things for movie roles, and of course, be sure to subscribe for more listed. Thanks so much for watching. I'm your host, Emil Ennis Jr., and as always, I'll see you next time.